Yo, people, Mr. Brown man can up the place, you know?
You ready for shut up?
Me hear gunshot beat subtle. Me think it was a military operation. But hear what? A lot of people thinking that this is over $200 and about a tray of eggs. And it wasn't. You won't see my face in the rest of this video. Just continue to listen. Alright? Medea, thank you for tuning in. It's SouFLoTV, your host with the most. And I'll catch you at the end of the video. I'm out. Wanna remember that song that where Black Rhino sing? Shatta bus, boy run and dash with the car, see there, shatta bus. I think a Black Rhino or Da Vinci did sing that. Shatta bus, boy run and dash with the car, see there. Listen up, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. This, you know, say we take serious thing, make joke and happy laugh still. And at the end of the day, this done gone bad already. But let's get into the details because people are thinking that all this was over eggs. And it wasn't. This was not over no eggs. This was something else. So first let's start with the news, right? Because the Jamaican police have now identified this individual and released further information to the public. Plus they've had some time to put some of the story together and people are talking. So Canadian deportee. He was deported from Canada. Don't ask me where in Canada he was. We don't know that yet. Don't ask me what deportable offenses he had committed in Canada that forced the Canadian government to deport him. We don't know that yet either. All we know is that the Jamaican police have confirmed that he is a deportee from Canada. He was killed in Jamaica after a 4 hours plus standoff in a shootout with the Jamaican police or forces. I could have sworn in the picture I saw fatigues and soldiers were on the scene. So I would say law enforcement forces because it wasn't just JCF. It looked like JDF was there as well with up-armored vehicles. It was a hell of a thing. It looked like a scene from out of a movie. Did y'all hear the gunshots clapping? Good Lord. Sound like some military operation was taking place. I thought a bagger man with a whole heap of gun had been trailed by the police after committing a crime and they were held up inside of that building and were firing back, exchanging fire with the police. I did not know that it was one person by the name of Brown Man. A Canadian deportee known as Brown Man was fatally shot after he shot a street vendor in Mandeville, Manchester on Tuesday, September 10th, before engaging police and soldiers in a 4 hours long standoff that left many people shaken. Because the people them not used to them something here. We hear say gunman kill people, but to be in the middle of a shootout that lasts for hours is something else. So the confrontation began after Wilson argued with a man who them call the Eggman, or somebody that sells eggs and other things, I'm guessing. Well, What we are hearing and what's been put in the news seems to be the same thing. He went up there, he asked for a tray of eggs. The person who is selling the eggs told him that is $1,200 for the eggs. He said him only have 1,000, so I'm 200 short. The person said, well, you have to go get your 200 then and make it 12. Him say, you can't give me it for 1,000. The man said, nah, brother, you have to short me. You have to give me it for, you have to give me 1,200. A disagreement escalated into where insults were being hurled. I wasn't there. I can't tell you what was said, but I can only imagine. I saw you go on, over 200 bumbleclot, measly $200, brother. And you see me out there all the time. Can get it 200 per one next day, and I'm just not have it right now. And then it turns into something like, go suck your mother. And then things get drastic, right? Right. So it escalated from words and insults being exchanged from there. So it is said that Wilson, the 54-year-old deportee who police identified as Alfonso Wilson, otherwise called Brown Man, who was recently deported from Canada and was reportedly unemployed and living in the apartment complex on Caledonia Road, took out his gun and fired multiple shots, hitting the egg vendor, and the egg vendor took off running. The man who police identified as Adrian Bernard, the egg vendor, he jumped in a car and he drove away. I don't know if he was trying to drive himself to the hospital to save his own life. You know, a gunshot bite up your skin. The first thing you're thinking is, me I go dead, me I go dead. Me need to reach some medical help quick. So he jumped in a Toyota Corolla motor car along Caledonia Road after he was shot. The news says that before he went driving and then he crashed into the back of a Toyota Prado. And he was later pronounced dead at the Mandeville Regional Hospital. Now, the story also says that minutes later, members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, or JCF, and the Jamaica Defense Force, JDF, surrounded Wilson's apartment in an effort to arrest him because, of course, by this time, they had heard from many people, yo, the man kill Eggman, dog, or the man shoot up the man who sell the egg them, or the man shoot up so-and-so, right? So they went looking for him. One thing led to another. They quickly identified who he was, got to where he was staying, and when they got there, they were in for the surprise of their life because it wasn't no easy feat. Gunshot started to beat. They came there with every intention of arresting him. A video captured by a resident and was widely shared on social media showed Wilson firing dozens of rounds of ammunition from inside of that residence. The SWAT team and specialized police units, they gathered and they attempted to negotiate with him. One of the officers were pleading over a speaker. He said, Mr. Wilson, it is all good. Come out. Surrender. Do not fire at the police anymore. We are not here to do you any harm, Mr. Wilson. By this time, I'm thinking Mr. Wilson decided that he had had enough living on Earth and he was going to go out with a bang. Remember, I know, he just committed murder blatantly, big and brawling. So even if he surrendered to the police, he was going to face a murder charge. Remember, he's a deportee. I highly doubt that his weapon was issued to him by the FLA. He was beating a gun that was illegal And do you all know that Jamaica recently changed its gun laws, and its gun laws have more teeth and them bite harder now? So if you're caught with a gun in Jamaica and the gun is not registered to you and was issued through the proper channels, you can get 15 years in prison just off the bat. If you have used that said gun to shoot and harm somebody, and then now we're talking about murder, he's probably looking at about 45 years before he comes out of prison, because the laws recently changed, right? So he decided, this is too much for me. I'm going out blazing, beat it till the nozzle bend up. And that's what it sounded like he was trying to do. It sounded like he was really trying to beat it till the nozzle bend up, car beer, bang, 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 bang. You remember that dude that said how him gun bust and him said, peshang wang wang wang. That's what it sounded like. Peshang wang wang, peshang wang wang. Beer gunshot a beat. The gunfire ended when the police actually breached the apartment and fatally shot Wilson inside of that apartment. Check this out though. According to the police out of Jamaica, it said that the officers recovered a multi-caliber Omni hybrid rifle. That means Wilson knows where to get rifles from, illegal guns from, because FLA did not issue that to him, and he's a deportee. He was recently deported too. And then they also found a Beretta pistol. And this part, 790 assorted rounds of ammunition were also found. We're not talking about spent shell, you know. And remember, the man beat gunshot for 4 hours straight. So lots of rounds were fired, and they still found 790 assorted rounds of ammunition. Assorted would mean that they were different types of bullets that would fit different types of guns. I'm guessing there were rounds that would fit the Beretta pistol, and then there were rounds that would fit the Omni hybrid rifle. The man did inner guns and bullet up to him teeth. I wonder if he was actually a part of the guns trade. I wonder if he was selling guns. But things never got too good for him in his life, and him head take him. Because there's a story here that we're going to get into in a minute. So the dramatic violence sparked by a $200 dispute over a $1,200 tray of eggs had been described as one of the most intense armed encounters in Mandeville in recent years. Community reaction was mixed. Some people were acting as if this was a movie. I don't know if y'all saw the videos. These people were out in the streets. Like, you hear gunshots beating and you are standing straight up. If I hear gunshots and I think they're close by, when me tell you say me lay down on floor like me a carpet, me a lay down flat on the floor. If you take a book leaf and drop it on the floor and see how flat the book leaf lays down on the floor, that would be me. I would be blending into the floor. But to see Jamaican people standing straight up, running around in an area where you can see where the shots were coming from, my friend, if you can see who's firing the gun, that means that the bullets from that gun can clap you in a more vicious way. Now, with that said, that begs to talk about Jamaicans being a traumatized set of people. We have become so, I wouldn't even say traumatized, I would have said desensitized. We have become so desensitized that we see gunshot fire and we run towards it. We know somebody is getting killed and we laughing and joking. You know, and that's because over the years, I mean, you're talking about Jamaica here. You're talking about somewhere where we see over 1,000 murders. 98% of those are by guns every year. And it's been that way for like the past 15, 20 years straight. I think this year, 2025, is the first year where it looks like we will not hit the 1,000 mark in the last 2 decades. So Jamaicans have seen a lot. We've seen a lot of violence. So when gunshots start beat, we're not too boomy. We're not too scared. We're not like other people who will run away. And that has to do with our social conditioning. Now, one person said that Jamaica received a lot of deportees from Canada, from the US, from the UK. Wow. This deportee, though, he actually had an illegal gun in his apartment. The police should actually investigate him to see if he is linked to any other shootings or any other crimes in Jamaica. Remember, I know, when you're a man where have lots of guns and lots of ammunition, you don't have to necessarily be the person outside doing it. You can be the guy who actually rent out that gun and get a percentage of whatever crimes are committed with that gun. So either way you take it, brown man might have been involved in criminality at some level. Meanwhile, another resident compared brown man's gunfire to military tactics, calling the showdown a good shootout. This is the one that got me. Because this brother, when he was describing it, he was so excited. And he was like, yeah, man, shot a beat, you know. The gun, the bullet, them a sing sweet, you know. And I was like, yo, bullets are singing sweet? Wow. He said, when the only thing I hear just raving the rifle like it is a military, you know? But it was a good shootout. That's all I can say because it was police from it Mecca, big history, whatever that means. The police have since confirmed that Wilson, or Brown Man as he is known, is dead and said that investigations are still ongoing to cover the entire story. Rumors have been circulating though that the man who was selling the eggs was not the only person that he killed. Remember I told my audience before, I said Jamaicans are known to embellish stories. They are known to make the story bigger and more exciting than it actually is. And when they do that, the bloggers will do it for clicks and views and likes and to entice their audience. And then people will also do it just to put misinformation out there because it sounds more exciting than what actually happened. So we also heard one brother telling the story who was on the scene of where the shootout happened. And he said, Brown Man and the Eggman were arguing and Brown Man killed the Eggman and then Brown Man slapped with 2 other innocent people. Him just see the people them and just shoot them just so. Before he went to the apartment and the police came there to meet him and had a shootout there with him. So he was implying that 3 persons have been killed by Brown Man, not just the Eggman, but 2 more others. However, no official information out of Jamaica by way of law enforcement or major news media house has said anything about multiple people being killed by Brown Man. They only mentioned the person who was selling the eggs, who drove away in the car, possibly trying to go get himself some medical attention after realizing that he was hit multiple times, where he crashed the car and he expired shortly thereafter. That person was Adrian Bernard. May his soul rest in peace. I know he did not think that this was going to be his last day. I saw a video of Brown Man laying in the back of the police pickup truck, dead as a nit. And I heard a lady saying, "You took my husband from me. Dave, you took my husband from me. And you think you never did I go dead to? You're dead to, man. Serve you right." So I don't know if there was somebody else or if the guy who was selling the eggs was her husband. Now here's another story that's out there. It is said that Brown Man has a son, and the son lived with him at that apartment. And it is said that the son said that his father, Brown Man, who was recently deported from Canada, was not himself lately. He said he saw his daddy just sitting down in one place and staring up at the sky for extended periods of time, and that his girlfriend had just left him about a week or two ago, and that he also recently lost over $2 million. He said that his dad left the house, and this time when he was leaving the house, he was taking a lot of extra magazines for his gun with him. And the son claims that this isn't normal because usually daddy would have just the one magazine in the gun, but he had lots of magazines with him this time around. He said he wanted to ask him about it. Everything all right? But he could tell that something was off. And he didn't want to ask him because, boy, you know, him coulda get it. You know, when somebody lose their mind, I mean, it's not far-fetched for him to take out his own son. We've seen these things happen oftentimes. The police have confirmed now that the gunman that was shot and killed in that shootout with them after a 4-hour plus standoff in Mandeville, Manchester on Tuesday, which is the 10th of September, 2025, identified as Alfonso Wilson, a recent deportee from Canada called Brown Man. Boy. So, for the people who were saying it was all about eggs, and the man just get mad because he never get the tray of eggs because he was $200 short, and that this was over less than $2. It wasn't. Obviously, this brother had other issues going on in his life. Everybody can't take stress, you know. So between deportation, which we know has been confirmed now, and if it is true that his son did say something like that, then you have to factor into that also you're deported. Don't know where his girlfriend is. Is she in Jamaica or is she overseas? And probably break up with him because, hey, you're deported, so we might as well end the relationship because I'm not coming to Jamaica to see you, and you don't look like you're coming back to Canada either. Could have been that too, combined with losing a lot of money. Money is not that easy to come by. He thought he had a little nest egg, that's gone. Him woman gone. You know, things are just falling apart for him. Them kick him out of Canada, all kind of something, and it all culminated. I know everybody can take stress. So he probably couldn't handle some stress, and this is how he took it out. He was already feeling like he was going to take himself out of the world anyways. Some people will take themselves out, and then some people will take others out and leave themselves here to face the consequences, while some people will take others out on their way out and make sure that law enforcement does the finishing touches for them, if you know what I mean. We're not going to use the S word and the S word, and because YouTube algorithms don't like that word, but I don't know what I mean by take themselves out. Well, if there are any other victims, we will let you know as we update this story. But so far, we do know that Adrian Bernard lost his life in this senseless situation. So may Adrian Bernard's family be comforted. May they find the strength to move forward. But of course, now is a time to grieve because this is fresh. Mental health, my friend, is a serious thing. And I would tell everybody to check in on your peoples. Check in on your peoples because it's not everybody can take stress. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV, your host with the most. I'm out. Peace.
You ready for shut up?